Hi guys, this is Ray on the way with another What If the Puppy with deku with the Reincarnation of Naruto and Sasuke, Part 8. We're left off, we were finishing the hero versus villain test. Izuku, aka Izuna, basically took out Bakyo with one shot, taking him by surprise and electrocuting him until he's unconscious. After that, he begins to head home. While he's walking home, he gets a text from Aizawa asking how the day went. While Deku's walking home, Sasuke asks him, "Are you prepared to deal with the darkness of your world?" Deku tells him, "I'm not sure yet." When he heads home, he practices 4 things: using weapons, practice with the child's home, his stage mode, and most importantly, his transformation. Before he heads out, he basically asks Naruto, "Is anybody watching him or basically looking after him?" Naruto basically scans around the building, basically saying, "No, you're all good," and transforms into a different person, into a random civilian, and begins to walk out his room. Well, multiple civilians that goes out of the hotel. Once he does that, he basically goes around destroying villains left and right, not killing them, just knocking them out. Basically wondering, what can I do to fix society? Naruto looks at Sasuke, asking him, "Do you think that the Hero City Committee is as clean as they say they are?" Sasuke tells him, "We're human, we're bound to make mistakes, so they probably do have some that they didn't want to do." Naruto says, "Yes, but I'm talking about the one they chose to do." Naruto tells him, "It's kind of hard to explain, but I can compare this to someone else in our world. Remember Danto and what he wanted to do for the Leaf Village? His intentions were good, but how he did it was wrong. Like what he did to Uchihas, the fact that he wanted me to be a slave. What I'm trying to say is, are they trying to do what they did in this world, but with their method?" Sasuke tells him, "We won't know until we find out. We can't understand until we see what darkness this society has for them and what it caused. Villains exist, but people aren't born evil. We have to find out." Sasuke looks at Naruto and says, "With enough evidence, this could be easy." Looks at Izuku and says, "But at the exact same time, this might be hard." Naruto looks at Sasuke and basically asks, "Will you tell him?" Sasuke tells him he has the right to know. And plus, even if we don't, and if we do this anyway, it's going to be hard to basically cover this up from him. Naruto asks, "How are we going to explain it to him?" Sasuke said, "When it comes to a competition of questions that needs to be answered, that one goes in second place. The first question is, when will we tell him?" Naruto asks, "Is there any way to solve that first question?" Sasuke said, "Yes, but it's more of a leap of faith if you ask me." Naruto asks, "What do you mean by that?" Sasuke basically looks at him and tells him, "The only way we can find problems from this world unless we confront them and see the darkness of this world and see why they're there. The only way we can do that unless Izuku affronts the problem in the darkness." Naruto basically says, to deal with this problem, Izuku has to meet higher-ups, more heroes, and see what they're like. Talk to society more and the people who are being deemed villains and see if they actually are worth being deemed that. Naruto asks, "Alright, I understand, but what do you do about the people who actually decided to become villains, not because of society, because they just feel like doing bad things?" Sasuke tells him, "Well, that's easy. Izuku is a hero. He'll deal with them." Naruto tells him, "What about the villains that are too dangerous to be kept alive?" Sasuke looks at him and tells him, "We'll hand them to the judge. We're only judging people who pretend to be heroes or who can't be judged." Naruto tells him, "Alright, that sounds good to me." Sasuke tells him, "Just remember, wait until he gets there." Once Deku's done patrolling, he heads right back to his apartment. After Deku gets back to the apartment, we cut to the next day. While Deku's walking up to UA, he sees multiple reporters. Once Deku gets closer, one of them sees him and tells him, "Look, there's one of the students." They begin to bum rush Deku, basically asking him, "So how is All Might as a teacher?" Before Deku can say anything else, another mic being pushed into his face, basically saying, "So why did he decide to become a teacher?" Before he said anything else, another mic gets pushed into his face saying, "So how is he balancing hero work and being a teacher?" Deku tries to find a way to get out of this, either trying to jump over the fence or basically put an illusion around them, make sure that he doesn't exist. Deku decides to not do that because if they find out, they're going to ask a lot of questions, and he doesn't want that many questions to be asked about him. He begins to look around and he sees a girl with pink dreadlocks and with hazel eyes. He rushes right towards her and asks, "What class are you in?" Before they can ask, Deku begins to rush towards the gate, basically telling him, "Sorry, Me and my support partner are late for our project. After hearing that, they're saying, what a waste. Let's find someone else for the hero class. After going past the gate and getting inside the building, he puts the girl down. After putting her down, he noticed that her eyes is not also hazel. It looks like a scope you see in a sniper. He tells her, thanks for that. My name's Izuna, and he want any favor, just name it. She looks at him and says, anything? Deku tells her anything that's not illegal and it won't get her kicked out. Yeah, anything. She basically looks at him again and tells him, okay, what's your quirk? He tells her, my quirk has many parts to it, but the most noticeable one is the fact that I can control the elements. After hearing that good information, she hands him her phone number and basically shakes his hand, telling her my name's May, and I'll call you for that favor. After walking off, he has a bad feeling about that deal. After Zuko gets into class, Aizawa basically tells him it's time to pick a class president. After everyone hears that, they begin to shout, saying why they should be class president, until Ida comes up and saying that they all have to vote. Deku tells him it sounds like a plan, and basically passes out a sheet of paper for them to vote for. While he's passing them out, he's saying the person who goes in first place will be the president, the person in second place will be the vice president. Before they finish, Deku tells them for third place we'll have a very special role to play in the class. They'll begin to look at each other and just shrug it off and finish their voting. After they're done voting, they all put their papers on Aizawa's desk. Deku goes up and basically reads the paper, seeing that he got first place and Momo got second place. After seeing this, Deku decides to change it up a bit. Right on the board saying that Ida got 5 votes, Momo got 3 votes, and he got 2 votes. Aizawa gets up and sees who's the 2 presidents and wonders what is the third role. After everyone gets to leave, he tells Izuna to stay. After everyone leaves the room, he basically asks Izuna, so what is that third role he was talking about? He looks back at Aizawa and tells him, well, that's for training. Aizawa tells him, well, why don't you be the president, or at least the vice president? Deku tells him, I don't really feel like doing that role. Besides, they're going to need some help, they're going to need some help training. After hearing that, Aizawa tells him just go to lunch. Once they basically get into the lunchroom, they all sit down talking about who they voted for. After realizing what happened, they immediately tell him something went wrong with the voting. He immediately shuts them down, telling him, no, Ida won fair and square. Uraraka tells him, wait a minute, I counted it, and there's 5 people that voted for you, not Ida. Izuna looks at her and tells her, well, either way, Ida won. Everyone looks at each other. Uraraka basically asks, do you not want the role? Izuna basically tells him, I'm in third place. In third place, both to help people train. She basically gets confused, saying, so what's the difference between this role and the president's role? Instead of responding to Sue, he basically slams his hand on the table, getting everyone's attention. Big saying, alright, as your temporary sensei, I'll be the one training you guys. Momo basically chimes in, saying, wait a minute, you can't just make up a role. Izuku looks at her and tells her, I asked Aizawa about it, and he didn't really care about it. So, he looks directly at her, saying, so yeah, I'm able to take 3 to 4 students at a time to basically help them out with their quirk or just overall combat. Uraraka basically looks at him and tells him, okay, so who do you take under your wing? Izuna will look at her, it tells her, you and Momo for right now. They both look at him and wondering why. Deku looks at Uraraka and tells her, you have barely any fighting skills, and I'm here to help you with that. Especially I'm only going to match your quirk. Deku looks at Momo, basically telling her, well, when it comes to your quirk, you can make multiple things, including weapons. I want to see your skill with the weapons. Momo isn't completely sure about this, but Uraraka tells him, sure, when do you want to do this? Deku tells her, anytime out of school, really. It's mostly based around combat instead of using her quirk. After agreeing with it, a few seconds later, our alarm goes off. Ida grabs onto an older student, asking what's going on. The older student responds with, we are being attacked by villains. After hearing that, they'll begin to rush out the door. Once they get into the hallway, they get pushed and shoved until Deku sees something out the window, seeing that it's just a press. He pushes students to the wall and clings onto the wall with his chocolate, telling everyone, calm down, it's just a press.